there's a couple of things that are going on. And last week we talked again about some of the new things that are coming out in regards to the smart home, and people having apps that they can set their temperature of their, turn the lights off and on. They can set the temperature, the thermostat, all of those kinds of things. And I just saw an article this week that was on the self-running home. It says it's here.
Yeah, pretty amazing. It actually automatically orders whatever you're running low on. It's a new service that Amazon is starting with. It's called the replenishment service.
Yeah, so there's so one of the things that it talks about here is like Brother has printers, and it has a sensor that's on your printer that lets Amazon know when you're running out of ink, and it orders the ink so the ink arrives at your home at the right time. And another thing that's on here is the is a washing machine that I believe it's GE that came out with one, and Whirlpool has one as well. That it has, you put the soap into the machine, and it knows when it needs to order more, so it gets it there. And that's all part of something that's really exciting for Central Florida as well, because that's that whole sensor market that they're building that sensor facility in Osceola County, and that's going to bring a whole bunch of jobs and will be a whole corporate complex for research and development on sensors. But this is actually the sensors doing some of the things that they were talking about in the future that they're going to do. And the next thing that we're going to talk about is foreign sellers, which actually, if you're a buyer here, if you're selling your home and you sell it to a foreign buyer, there's not a lot that happens any different than if it's
regular neighbor or something. down the
exactly.
street.
Yeah. So, but when the foreign sellers sell, there is something that is involved in that. And as a buyer, if you're buying a house from a foreign person, there's some things that you need to know. And FIRPTA for short, but it's the Foreign Investment on Real Property Tax Act of 1980. And what was happening is that, say that a foreign person owned a home and then they sold it and they had a gain. And so that was a loophole for the government. So this FIRPTA tax actually kicks in so that the government gets the money for the gain.
Yep.
And so they've just recently changed the rules on it a little bit. And the way that it basically works from our experience, and we're not experts, but we know the people that are, and we put our clients in touch with the ones that are to make sure that it gets handled right, is that there is, it has been traditionally 10% of the purchase price of the gross proceeds of the home is held by the title company until that foreign seller has done their taxes, and then it's released to them if it needs to be, if it's able to be. Otherwise, it goes to the government to pay the taxes. And the reason that this is really important as a buyer is because if the seller doesn't do their due diligence on this and they don't take care of that, then you as a buyer and a U.S. citizen, you are responsible for that tax. But they've made it kind of in tiers now. So what they're saying is that houses under $300,000 can kind of be neglected from this law. So that's something that, we still go through the process on that, but there is an exemption up to $300,000. Now they've got between $300,000 and $1 million. It's 10% that is withheld, and that isn't any change to what it is now. So it has always been 10%. And then if it's $1 million plus house, then it has gone from 10 to 15%. So, the other thing is that, it's like there's that exemption of the $300,000 that we just talked about, but that means that the home was used as a residence. So, for example, if it was used as a vacation rental, then it wasn't completely used as a residence, so that FIRPTA exemption of the under $300,000 may not apply.